My name is Leo Connors, and welcome to the Ring and All Other Sports. And I got a very special guest for his third appearance, Shawn Kreckie, content creator, Shawn Kreckie.
Always a pleasure.
Thank you, bud.
Thank you.
We got a lot to talk about because we got Wrestlemania to talk about. But first, the sale, $21 billion.
Yeah, let's just say I'm glad it didn't go the other way.
Yep.
I'm grateful. I listened to the radio on the way here, and they were talking about the sale.
Yeah.
And with what Endeavor has done for UFC since 2016,
right?
And how Vince and Triple H must be looking at it from a business angle, I can only trust it. And I think the next 5 years in the WWE will show that it's the good decision to make at this point, I guess.
Right. And it's funny. I told you off here that Vince McMahon wanted $1 billion more than the UFC had sold for to Endeavor.
Okay.
And that was $9 billion. So he got $12 billion more. Vince is on a high horse right now.
Is that what happened? Because I thought UFC was like at 12.9 and
yeah,
WWE
no, when they
was
bought
at
him, it was $9 billion. Which is, we got to hit the lottery for that and then make money off of that.
Yep.
To get to that kind of money.
Just imagine being that company Endeavor now and having this as your whole commodity. You have a brand new commodity. It's like owning Marvel.
Right.
And
I seen people sit there and saying, what if they merge them together? They're two different sports, people.
Yeah.
They're not going to merge them together. Now, will we see guys from the UFC get involved with wrestling? Yes, because most likely the wrestlers, or the big names like a Conor McGregor, like Floyd Mayweather did.
Correct.
You know what I mean?
Any
came
money
in for
maker.
a quick, big payday.
The money.
Yeah.
It's the money. And you're going to see a little bit of probably like cross-pollination, like you were saying, of talent. Definitely some cross-promotion. You're going to see, because before there would be slight mentions, and you'd see wrestlers want to be in the UFC, and then guys in the UFC would come from, who's the guy that was a referee for a match recently? He was a UFC fighter. He came out, he didn't really get much response.
Right.
Because the
I
wrestling,
don't know who it was.
Exactly, because the wrestling audience really doesn't care much about UFC.
Right.
So now they're going to kind of bring that to the forefront to try to make more people aware of who everybody is, I believe.
Yeah, I expect Daniel Cormier to get involved immediately.
Yeah.
Because, he loves wrestling, man.
Yep.
And there will be changes with new ownership. Who knows what's going to happen? Nobody knows.
Nobody knows. Tonight, on Raw, hopefully we find out some more. I think Triple H is supposed to open the show with an announcement.
Nice. And now who's going to run it? Right? I mean, you really need wrestling people to run it.
I don't think Vince is moving. Did you see Vince sit down with CNBC?
No, I didn't.
So they asked him if he was going to have a say in creative still.
Right.
And I guess Vince was like, yeah, I'm going to still have an overhead say.
Right.
But, quote unquote, I'm not going to be in the weeds anymore. He's like, but I love to be in the weeds, but I'm not going to be in the weeds anymore.
Right. Okay. That makes sense, though. You know what I mean?
I think the wrestling people will still have their hands on it.
Right. I'm thinking they're going to have Triple H run it, like as he's doing.
Yeah.
And everybody's still in place.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Exactly.
The only thing, I think people like in the media department might lose some jobs because Endeavor has their people or something. You know what I mean? There might be some cuts in that sense, and maybe some wrestlers. Who knows? But that's always comes around this time of year anyways.
Right, exactly. All right, so Shawn made a list of tag teams because he knows I'm a tag team guy. And we talked about it on this last episode.
Yeah.
So he gave me a top 10 list, kind of, whatever, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so honorable mentions. So you got number 1, the Road Warriors, number 2, the Dudleys. You could have flipped it and it wouldn't have mattered.
Yep.
Right?
I think the Dudleys do belong at the top, to be honest.
Absolutely. And then Hot Foundation, Edge, and Christian Steinich could have did the same with those.
All interchangeable.
Yeah, absolutely. But they are the top 5. Mm-hmm. Then you got Harlem Heat, incredible. And if they would have stayed a tag team, they would have been twice as good. To
me, they were great because they just made what tag team wrestling, to me, like, they made it seem so natural.
Right. And they were brothers, which, they
They
each
looked
other.
similar. They dressed similar. And
absolutely.
Their music was just so fitting to their outfits.
Right. And having Sherry Martel as a manager certainly didn't hurt.
Oh, yeah.
Now, then you got the Head Shrinkers, the Eliminators, the Gangsters, and the Quebecers.
Those are my honorables, yeah.
Yeah. Personally, I think those guys are all great tag teams, but they're not top 5.
No.
Even though I love the Eliminators, and I would love to say they're number 1.
They just haven't done enough, and they weren't around for long enough. But for the short amount of time and the long span of time of tag team wrestling that they were involved, they made a huge impact in my life.
Impact is big time. Impactful.
Total elimination.
Yes. And some other honorable mentions. You got the Hollywood Blondes, Danny Doring and Roadkill, which is great tag team, man.
Yeah, had to
Does not get their just due.
Not at all.
The Natural Disasters, the Smoking Guns, and in my opinion, the best tag team in the world right now, the Usos.
Of course.
FTR is a great tag team. They're not working as much.
No, you know, to me, they're somewhat newer.
Yeah.
They've been around for like 10 plus years, but
the Usos have been around longer. And they're probably
they've been
younger.
performing at a higher level for longer.
Absolutely. And it had the number 1 storyline in wrestling. You know, the Bloodline.
Bar none.
Yeah,
you know?
Absolutely.
One I forgot to put on the list was Anthony Bones, Max Caster. They're making a lot of noise.
New tag team, but damn, they're good. They're
so
real
good.
Somebody posted something today, and I commented on it. And they said that New York City doesn't have the training and all this. I'm like, create a pro.
Yeah.
Dude, and I mentioned, I said, Chris Statlander,
Yep.
MJF, and the
came from there.
Acclaimed. How can you tell me that there's not good training in New York?
Exactly. And then they have like the House of Glory too, to like they have a nice independent company out there run by
Amazing Red and Brian XL.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they run a good production.
Right. Absolutely. You work for them?
No, I would like to someday, you know.
Nice. All right, so guys, we're going to talk about WrestleMania weekend. And we'll start off with NXT Stand and Deliver. I did not see the opening match, which was Chase University.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't see it.
I watched the main event that night. I had work. I did not watch that show except for the main event.
All right, so I went a page ahead of time.
But I can still go over it because I watched the highlights.
Yeah. The opening the show was the NXT Women's title ladder match with Indy Hartwell, Gigi Dolan, Lyra Valkyrie.
It's not Tyra Valkyrie.
No, it's not. Roxanne Perez, who, wow, it kind of shocked me she was in it.
Yeah.
Because it was supposed to be 5, right? She made 6.
I'm just glad Indy went over. I'm glad because she deserves it. She's been a hard-working girl from the jump.
Oh, yeah.
And just hasn't got her just due. Now she's getting it.
Yep. And also Tiffany Stratton and Zoe Stark.
A lot of people are fans of Zoe.
Yeah. I
haven't seen enough of her work.
She's good. If I would have, I wanted Gigi Dolan.
Okay.
I like her. I think she's hot.
I had no problem with Indy winning.
Right. No, neither did I. And Dexter Loomis coming in, slide in the ring was perfect.
Perfect.
It was. I mean, Dexter Loomis doesn't talk very often.
Yes.
Because he did say yes to being married. But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's incredible because he doesn't talk.
His timing is impeccable.
Yes.
You know, it really is.
Yeah, I love Dexter Loomis.
Yes.
All right, but that was a really good match, and Indy going over was perfect.
It was well done.
Yeah,
it was
very well
from
done.
the parts I saw.
And if Roxanne Perez really does have some type of problem, smart to keep the belt off her for now, because she can always get it later.
Timing is everything in wrestling.
Exactly. Then they had the NXT Tag Team Championship, as Gallus defeated the Creed brothers and Tony D'Angelo and Stax with the help from Joe Coffey, Mark Coffey's brother. Mm-hmm. Along with Wolfgang, they all make up Gallus.
Yes.
Great tag team, man. That Wolfgang is very impressive. Coffey's good too.
They're growing on me.
Yeah.
They are.
I thought that was a really, really good match, you know. And then they had Wesley defeated Axiom, Dragon Lee, Ila Dragunov, and JD McDonough. And this match was unreal.
I can't imagine so I got to go back and watch that one in full, just knowing the names that were involved. It wasn't Dragon Lee like just a recent acquisition?
Yeah.
So how did he do in that match?
Oh, he did great. They all did great.
Yeah.
I haven't written, and I don't really ever grade things, but I graded these. I gave them an A.
Yeah.
That match was incredible.
Pacing good, everything.
Yeah, Axiom is really good. Now, he's a British guy that had no mask before. I don't know. I can't remember who it is. But yeah, so
it's brandable. It's brandable.
Yeah, oh yeah.
You little kids buy those masks.
You gotta have mascots.
You got the action figures.
Yeah, and Dragon Lee is incredible, and it kind of be too quick to give him the title.
Absolutely, people would be mad.
Yes, absolutely, because Wesley's killing it.
He is. There's no reason to take it off him.
Yeah.
He's absolutely
really
the perfect
good
placeholder after Carmelo held that title.
Yes. Now, when he was in the tag team with Nash Carter, they did a bunch of vignettes, and I didn't think it did them any justice because their vignettes, in my opinion, were childish and they kind of were dumb.
Yeah,
You know?
I agree.
And then, unfortunately, what happened, because a girl runs her mouth and says, look, I got bruises, and there's no bruises.
Yeah.
There's none.
Yeah, you're gonna have to go through those growing pains as a young gunner with all these girls around you, and you got probably alcohol and stuff involved. These things will happen.
Yeah, and I should be mad at the guy because his girlfriend now is Gigi Dolan. I'm not happy about that.
He's still winning.
Yes, he's winning, even though he's not with the WWE no more. But it just sucks that the cancel culture and all this, you could just say something. And just a guy loses his job.
Same scenario could have happened 20, 30 years ago.
Yeah. But
business would have went on like normal.
Absolutely.
Maybe 30 years down the line, it'd have popped up like it has now with Vince and stuff.
Yeah, but and Snooker, remember?
Oh, boy.
31 years or something like that.
Wasn't it 81?
Yeah. And then he turned around and they were going to lock him up and they said, oh, he can't.
Yeah.
He can't go to jail because he's got dementia and all that. He lucked out.
He sure did.
He lucked out big time.
There's some type of karma involved in that, because if you did what you were guilty of and then you didn't have to do the time, and then when they caught you years later, you still didn't have to do the time, you must have done some type of something good in the in-between to make up for what you did.
Absolutely.
There's no making up for doing what you did. But you tried to do what you could, and I guess there were, karma's on his side for now. We'll see how it works in the very end.
I want to go back to the opening of the show, the women's ladder match, just so when you do go watch it back, watch for the spot that either Tiffany Stratton jumped like over the top rope or jumped from the top rope, and nobody caught her. Nobody caught her, man. She went straight to the ground.
Ugly,
and I've seen that happen at independent shows, and that usually happens to people that have big heads.
So they missed her?
Yeah, completely. 3 of them.
Jeez.
It wasn't all 5. Yeah. Just 3 of them. Completely missed her.
She all right?
She finished the match, but I'm like, man, that's gotta hurt.
That reminds me, not to cut the subject, but Charlotte.
Yep.
When she took that off the, oh my God.
Yeah.
She just made it too.
Yeah.
She just made it.
Yep.
And she still got a little rug burn on her nose from that for the whole match.
That was unreal.
Yeah, that was hot hitting.
She could have broke her neck.
That was ugly. It was close. I jumped out of my seat.
Right, and because she didn't get really hurt, the match was better.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
One of the best women's matches I've seen in
absolutely.
a long time.
And then the follow it up is, one of my opinions, the first of the 2 matches that I didn't really enjoy that much, and it's a surprise because I like both guys. Johnny Gargano beat Grayson Waller. It was nothing special about it. You know what I mean? They already did the fighting at the house and all that.
It's just a rehash of stuff we've seen before with not as much feeling involved.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And I totally forgot that Grayson Waller did something to Gargano before.
Okay, so
They
did they
showed
tie
it in
it
the
together?
package.
They tied it together at least. And now the thing is like they started that whole thing with HBK being the other guy on the other end of Grayson. And now you got Gargano in his place. I get it, but why even start that type of angle if you can't finish it off the way where the money is?
Yeah. Or how about he's being a dick? Keep him off the show.
Pull your power right.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Yeah, exactly.
They could have did that.
Storyline holes.
Right. Then next up, they had the NXT Women's title match. And Isla Dawn and Alba Fry defeated Kiana James and Fallon Henley with Briggs and Jensen.
Okay.
I will say this. Isla Dawn and Alba Fry look great together.
Okay.
They look great. One dark red, one light red.
As a tag team on the screen, they look great together.
I think they look fantastic together.
Aesthetically pleasing.
Yes. And Isla Dawn, she got a great ass.
She knows what she's working with. Yes. She got it popping out for a reason. It's like a Nikita Lyons. She's got everything busted out because she knows what she's doing.
Now, is she hurt? Because she wasn't
She
on
must
the
be because,
Yeah, because, I mean, they were pushing her somewhat. All right.
She's on TV every week.
Now, here we go. Congratulations to former guest of the ring in all other sports, Carmelo Hayes. And you brought it up on the way in, off air, how they called it from a Casanova to a kid.
Yeah, Casanova to Carmelo Hayes or something, but they mentioned the word Casanova in the final closeout sentence of him winning, and that made my heart just go like, thank you. You know, I was just like, that's how you know he has respect in the back too, because they're acknowledging subtly his indie name, because that's gonna make him feel better.
Absolutely, and on top of it, I said to you off air, Braun Breaker taking the title from the ref and giving it to him and shaking hands with a heel.
Yeah.
Showed so much respect. And they had respect for each other. That right there
was one of the most defining moments in this long career of Carmelo. Early defining moments in this long storied career of Carmelo that is taking place before our eyes right now. He's going to change the game. He already is.
Yes, and he will headline WrestleMania in 3 to 4 years.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
Yep.
He'll be there.
Nice. So that match was really, really good. I like the, you saw it, you said, right?
Yeah.
So I like the ending. The ref gets knocked down, and here comes Trick.
You knew it. And then, hey, boom, right to the back of the head. All right, he's out. Hit him with that leg.
Oh, that leg drop
beautiful.
is incredible,
Did you see the extension?
Yeah.
Beautiful work. Beautiful work.
Yeah, it's incredible. He's incredible. Braun Breaker, I think, like I was telling you, is going to be most likely on the main brands.
Could see it happening.
He could even be as early as tonight.
I'd like to see him feud with I don't even know who yet, but someone that's bigger.
Like you said, like an LA Knight.
An LA Knight, like a bigger name who's gonna put him over.
Right.
You know what I mean? And they'll be able to maybe exchange some mic work, and they're gonna test Braun's skills on the mic a little bit too.
And remember now, he regained the NXT title by beating Dolph Ziggler. So that could easily be his first.
That's beautiful, actually.
You know?
I like that. That's a good guy to work with too.
Yeah,
you get great matches out of Dolph every time.
I mean, can you think? Dolph Ziggler didn't have a match at WrestleMania, and he signed to the WWE.
It's a shame.
That's ridiculous.
You could have put him in the Andre
easily.
Battle Royal, if anything. But find a spot for a guy like that.
Yeah.
It's a shame because when I watched Dolph in his peak, several peaks that he's had.
Oh yeah.
I just see so much HBK in him.
Right.
And it makes me feel good as a fan because I'm like, oh, there's the new HBK, but they're not letting him shine.
Not at all. I mean, I don't think he's won he won the NXT title, but he hasn't won a SmackDown or Raw in over 5 years.
He did win the big gold once or twice, no?
Oh, yes, but earlier than 5 years.
Yes.
He hasn't won anything big other than the NXT title.
And that was just kind of to help the NXT title, not even him.
Yep, so. and introduce him to the main roster because he won it at Raw.
Right.
Right. So Braun Breaker's 1-0 at Raw.
I want to see more of it. Looking forward to it. And I think Braun's got a long career ahead of him. I don't know if it'll go so smooth for him just in the very beginning. He's going to work out a little bit of the kinks he's got left. But at the end of the day, he's a superstar, and they know it.
No doubt. I say 3. It could be Braun Breaker versus Carmelo Hayes headlining WrestleMania.
I would love to see it because you never know how long Roman's going to have the title.
Exactly.
And then who's going to be to take it off it?
I mean, I, along with almost everybody else, thought Cody was winning.
Okay, I'll say this. I was in the minority not knowing, but I had a feeling that Roman was going to win because I put myself in the shoes of Triple H, put myself in the shoes of Cody, put myself in the shoes of Roman. And I was just like, this is just not the right time. If this was last WrestleMania, no doubt about it, Cody would have been the guy. But right now, you had to it was a short build. You had 2 weeks to build this match. They really took 2 weeks, 3 weeks to build it on TV. Cody was just getting his traction. If they had a few more weeks to build it, they would have had it so Cody would have been the guy.
Right.
But like I was saying outside, you got to follow. If you're doing the Dusty thing, Dusty lost the big one.
Yes.
So Cody's got to lose the big one first.
Right.
Do you think Triple H is really going to let Cody have the first one after what he did to the throne?
Well, I'll tell you what, man, it takes a lot of balls to go back there.
Dude, it's just like he knows what is his, and he's got to go rightfully get it.
Right.
That's why.
Isn't
I
that crazy
respect
though?
the hell
Like,
out
I
of
mean,
Cody.
I can't believe he came back so quick.
And left where he was.
Yeah.
It just took balls, and it meant that he knew what he wanted, and he went out to get it, and no one was stopping him, and no circumstance was going to get in his way either. No friendships, no nothing. It was
well, he
business.
also saw that his vision for AEW was the Mid-Atlantic area, NWA.
Yeah.
You know, wrestling.
Right.
While the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega, they want Spot Fest, like PWG.
Yes.
That's what they want.
Yep.
So Cody was like, I ain't going to change. It's going that way. I'm out of here.
He saw the writing on the wall.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
And he's a smart businessman as well as an excellent wrestler. And it's in his blood. It's kind of his birthright, just like Roman. It's in his blood. It's kind of his birthright. As long as you do the work to get there, your spot is there for you to take.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. So now we're on to WrestleMania Night 1, Saturday night. They opened the show with Austin Theory and John Cena.
Yeah.
And that was a good match. It really was.
It was quick.
About 10 minutes.
It did its job.
Yes. But Austin Theory looked good.
He always does.
The kid is, maybe it could be Austin Theory versus Carmelo Hayes at WrestleMania 3 or 4 years from now.
You know, anybody versus Carmelo is going to work.
Right. Yeah.
That's the thing about him. He's magic.
Well, you know that they're saying like two guys are definitely coming up soon. Braun Breaker and Cameron Grimes. That's why Cameron Grimes has been off TV.
I like Cameron a lot.
Yeah, me too.
I think he's got something different.
Yeah. And I really liked this hillbilly gimmick when he was doing it. And I was like, wow, man. Like, if they were to go that character-based thing, that was a great gimmick to have.
It was believable.
No doubt. Yeah, because he is one.
Yeah, I bought into it. I didn't have to think about it. Oh, yeah, I could maybe. No, this is who he was. I bought it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And he's an incredible talent. But so is an Austin Theory.
He's awesome. And they've seen it in him.
24?
Like 24? Yeah.
Wow, man.
25 maybe. The most. But like, geez, imagine. The things he's done already.
Yeah.
Just being Vince's little guy in the beginning, that just was the ultimate rub.
Right.
You know?
Now, what was the thing? Was it a gold chicken? What was they eat?
Golden egg.
Golden egg. Yeah. That's what it was. The golden egg. Ay.
Did you see Cena's sneakers?
Yes.
Shout
From
out
the
to
Kowloon restaurant. A shout out to the Kowloon.
Yeah.
Great restaurant.
One of the favorites of the WWE.
Oh, absolutely. That is their place.
Oh, yeah.
So, congratulations to the Kowloon and John Cena and Austin Theory.
I'm glad he's got his first name back.
Yes, no doubt. All right. Next match was the Fatal 4-Way Tag Team match with the Street Profits beat Strowman and Ricochet, Alpha Academy, and the Viking Raiders. Now, I need to ask you this. That's the Viking Raiders' first WrestleMania, right?
Yeah, I think so.
They haven't been on in any of them.
I don't believe it. Yeah.
Unless they were in one of the Battle Royals.
Pre-shows or something, but at the same time, I would have remembered, I feel like.
Right, me too.
Now that right there must have been such a dream come true for those two guys, and they were able to perform to the top of their ability.
And Ivar is local.
Of course.
You know, great wrestler. I haven't said it in a long time, so I'll say it again now. He had so many injuries, a lesser man would have quit.
Yeah.
And lesser man did quit. And he never did.
Wow. What kind of injuries has he had?
Knees, back, shoulders, neck.
Whatever
wrist.
he gets, he just works through it like a beast. You could see it on him and in him.
Never gave up hope for the WWE.
I respect that fully.
He got his name out there more than locally by winning the Ring of Honor Top Prospect Tournament. And in the finals, he beat Raymond Rowe, who was now his tag team partner.
Wow.
So afterwards, they were in the dressing room and they said, we should just team up and beat people up instead of beating each other up.
Yeah, make money that way.
And they said, let's do it.
Huh.
And they did. And they were the,
What was the War Raiders?
The War Raiders.
Yeah.
No. War Machine.
War Machine. Oh,
War
what
Machine.
the name. Oh, my God. Can you bring that name back, please?
Ivar and Rowe.
Yeah. Can you bring that name back, please, WWE?
No doubt.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a great... And they got rid of it just because I think the guy that's in prison War Machine. John Copenhagen.
Makes sense. There was a reason.
Yeah, you know, that's what I think. I mean, no one told me.
I'm like, why?
Well, you know, Vince gave me a call.
The main war on the main roster. We can't, with all the public. I don't know.
And they went overseas everywhere. Japan, they made a big name in Japan. Overseas in England and Germany and stuff.
One thing I want to say about them is, like, no matter the hardships that have been thrown their way, given, like, the name changes and, like, you know.
Raymond Rose motorcycle accident that almost killed him.
These guys deserve their spot.
Oh, absolutely.
They've earned it.
Yep.
And they continue to work for it.
Right.
And I want to see the gold on them.
Me too. And I'll tell you, though, they look funny, though, with the I don't even know what she's going by now.
Yeah, I can't. I know what it is.
But Sarah Rowe, right?
Yes.
She's got this Valkyrie-ish thing going on, and it's cool.
No, it works.
Yeah.
You know?
It reminds me of the show Yellow Jackets that I'm watching.
Okay.
Did you see that show yet?
No. Oh. I'm allergic to bees.
Yeah, my son is too.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he
Get
is.
stung by a yellow jacket, I get the hives, I got to get out the EpiPen.
Yep. He carries his with him everywhere.
Okay.
Next up, we had Seth Rollins and Logan Paul. Unbelievable. This kid is unbelievable.
Really, yeah.
And it was funny because when the protein bottle came down, I was like, somebody's in there.
Something's going to happen to him, too.
Yeah, and KSI, who I don't even know.
Yeah.
I don't even know who he is or whatever. I just know he's a black guy and his name is KSI.
Yeah.
And when Seth pulled him on the table, it actually was perfect timing because Logan looked up and then jumped.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So Logan Paul knew how to make that look good.
That's on him for having, you know, like the innate ability to just be a professional at the highest level.
And I like it how, because when he jumps off and then he turns his body, which is nice.
Just looks great.
Oh, yeah.
And then the impact is just perfectly everything. You know what I mean? It's satisfying.
And now I heard KSI wants to get in wrestling.
Of course he does. He got a taste of it at the highest level.
Everybody wants to now. But that match was an A.
Yeah, facts. Absolutely. Without a doubt. That was like one of my favorite because they showed a lot of different aspects of pro wrestling in that match. There was a lot of, not just like, you know what I mean? There was a lot of variety in that one match.
Right. Absolutely. It was high flying, mat based, brawling.
Yes.
And I like Logan Paul, man. This kid respects wrestling.
Yeah, he gets it.
You know, he does. He gets it. Great match. And then it was followed up with one of the, I don't want to say the worst, but not as good as the others. Becky Lynch, Lita, and Trish as they beat Damage Control. Why, oh why, is Dakota Kai signed to the WWE? She's a stick figure, and she's not very good.
Yeah. I had to look up like Dakota's history because I'm like, what's the deal here?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like same questions that you've had, I've had, and I'm just like, okay, so she was this person for a while and then that person for a while, now she's here.
Right.
You still do nothing for me.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Io Sky, though, is really good.
She just got a bad luck with the teammate, you know what I mean? And
but
Bayley's not the greatest heel, in my opinion, either.
No, she's not.
A much better
she's
face,
a better baby
which
face.
is a real rarity in wrestling because a lot of people are better heels than they are faces.
Yes.
And Bayley just got the switch off.
Yeah, with those little things there. Right?
Just,
What do they call those things?
Oh, the wavy things when she was the hugger. Yeah, the inflatable guys.
I mean, she is a great baby face.
She's awesome as a baby face. A hugger, she smiles, the room lights up. And now she's like I don't even know, like the substitute teacher that nobody likes or something. Like, and
I just don't understand like how why Dakota Kai. I just don't see it anytime she's out there.
Damage Control has always been a bathroom break for me.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
I think for a lot of people it is.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate because you got 2 out of 3 of them who, doing the thing right.
And I know they haven't wrestled in a long time on a regular basis. But Lita looked uncoordinated.
She did on that Raw match too, like when she wrestled.
Oh, when they won the tag team title.
Yeah, it was just like, nothing's the same. It's just please.
And I get it. You're older and you haven't been doing it in a while.
They're asking you to do a favor. I get it.
But she's just, it was weird because I know how good she was.
Yes.
And it's the movement.
It's it's just blocky. It's weird. It's
not, and Trish doesn't try to do as much as Lita
she knows
does.
her limits.
Exactly, and that's the key.
Yep.
That's the key to legends coming back.
Of course.
Cut back on what you do.
Less is more.
Exactly, in that situation. Now, as I said to you before we went on air, there was really no match stole the show.
Right.
But there were ones that were right up there. And that's the next one is Rey Mysterio beating Dominic Mysterio.
I am just so blessed to be able to be a wrestling fan, to see Dominic be the custody match with the ladder, and then he had the blonde hair at the side of his little kid. Now he's Eddie Jr. with the gimmick and the hair and the man, he's doing it so well.
Yeah.
Because it's such a little intricate little character.
Yep.
You got to know what it is,
right?
And with it just works. And Ray's just the ultimate professional, ultimate father figure.
Yes.
I don't want to hit you, son, but don't make me,
Yep.
And it's just a great story.
Absolutely.
And Snoop, and he got the, congratulations to Ray as well for the Hall of Fame induction.
Yep.
Well deserved. He's a very hardworking, as much as he's appreciated, I don't think he's appreciated enough for what he's done. And I think Conan did a great job of inducting him on Friday.
Oh, yeah, way better than Ric Flair. Ric Flair talked about himself for 12 minutes.
It was sad.
Really.
Yeah.
Talked about himself and mentioned Muda in the conversations about himself.
Yeah, it was sad. It was tough to watch.
Yeah, it was tough to watch. But Conan killed it.
He really did, man.
He did. He killed it.
He told. It's like Conan was
flipping out at the end though. Ray, right? He's shaking.
Yeah,
it was incredible.
Yeah. It's like Conan had that story to tell his whole life and just couldn't wait to tell it on that night, and he got to tell it, and he didn't miss a beat. You know what I mean?
Not at all. Conan killed it.
Yeah.
It was nice to see the Kaufman family.
Absolutely.
I mean, because obviously you can't see Andy, and the sister that spoke. She was really good. She spoke elegantly. The brother was all right. He was a little nervous. The sister wasn't nervous at all.
Right. You could tell.
Yeah.
And thank God, because that saves face on TV a little bit from a bad segment happening or whatever.
I was impressed.
It was tough to see Jerry the King in that shape. And then I forget who was on commentary, but they were like, "Hey, King looks great, huh?" And I'm like, "Oh, you got to give him that little type of compliment."
And King's my favorite.
Me too.
I love the King.
He's just a legend of all types.
All right, so after that, this was like match after match because Rhea Ripley won the NXT title. I mean, the Raw.
Yeah. It was a SmackDown. She got the blue one.
The SmackDown, yep. Rhea Ripley wins the SmackDown Women's title by beating Charlotte Flair in another banger.
This was a banger. To me. Rhea Ripley's timing, her presence. She's like the ultimate woman's wrestler to me.
Yeah.
Really
heel versus heel, too.
And
Charlotte isn't a babyface.
She came back as one because she wasn't doing heel stuff. But that doesn't mean people liked her.
Right. No, more people like Rhea Ripley anyways.
Of course. And Rhea's the bigger heel.
Oh, yeah.
Which is on TV,
Right.
And what they did that match was like we were talking about a couple scary spots in the match, but one thing I didn't like was how Charlotte at the end, and I get it, she followed up with it on Twitter, congratulating Rhea, but she's on the outside of the ring kind of smirking, not smirking, but laughing, huh.
Right.
And I'm like, you just finished the match, you shouldn't be happy yet.
Right.
Not yet.
Right.
You know what I mean? But that was a little you're too veteran too early in that sense. You're not that person yet.
Right.
I know how many championships you've held and who's your father, but play the role a little bit more to a T for me because that took me out of it.
Right.
That right there. The match was already over. But seeing Charlotte ringside, just sitting against the the curtain,
right.
I was like, come on. You should be selling it still.
Right.
And you're not.
Great match though.
It was a wonderful match. I'll watch that match over and over.
And then in between, you had Pat McAfee made his return, and he beat up The Miz because of Snoop Dogg.
Which was great. I loved Snoop's I don't care what anyone says, Snoop is a legend.
Yes.
And he did. So when Pat McAfee came in, he was he sounded a little corny when he was talking to Snoop, but when he talked to Miz, he was back to Pat. And I was like, okay, here we go. And what happened after that? Pat got to knock him out.
Yes.
Miz took a beating this weekend.
All weekend. And then was the main event. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, KO Mania and Wrestle Zayn. Yeah. That's what the shirts were saying. And as they won the undisputed tag team titles from the Usos. And
in the main event of a WrestleMania.
Yeah. And it was just as good as the two we had said earlier, Rey Mysterio and Dominic, and Rhea and Charlotte.
High drama.
Yeah.
High impact.
Yep.
Lots of great storytelling, lots of great moments.
Yes.
Timing on everything. Like, timing is so important in wrestling. Like, that everything is so well timed in that match.
Right.
I didn't see anything that I didn't like.
No, me either. The match was fantastic. And I can't wait to see where the story goes.
Yeah, it's interesting. Finally, they got me wanting to see more.
Right, exactly. All right, so now we're on night 2, WrestleMania. This was last night. Opening match, Brock Lesnar defeats Omos. Yeah. You know, Omos needed a win.
Yeah, he did.
And Brock doesn't need. You know what I mean?
Nothing
it's just
makes
like
sense.
So you got a 7'3" guy that's just. You know what I mean?
Of course. That's why it made no sense.
Right.
It made no sense. And Almost actually looked better in that match than I've ever seen him.
Yes. Yes.
Which was like, hey, give this guy a little more of a chance or whatever. Like, if you put him over Brock, you would have popped that crowd.
Oh, absolutely. It would have been a shocker.
You could have followed up with it.
Yep.
You could have had a feud with him.
Yeah.
You could have made, got your money out of Brock.
I mean, he's got MVP. So the cheat, you know what I mean? It's not like you can't figure a way out to cheat to beat him.
Yes. There was no logic involved in that match that made me want to watch that match again.
Right.
And it was like, come on, be over.
Yeah. And it was what, like 9 minutes, and that's probably 6 minutes too long.
Yep. Exactly. Especially with almost not going over, like, what happened to the young guys.
Right. But there was no real botches or anything like that. I mean, it was a pretty good
one of Almost's better
5
performances.
minutes.
And I'm surprised because, when you got a guy like Brock working with a bigger guy, you don't always get the best match out of Brock.
Right.
But they worked well together.
Yeah, I did.
I want to see more.
I liked how he went for the belly to back.
Yeah.
And almost hit him with an elbow, and all he had to do was this, and he hit him right in the head.
Yeah.
Because he's so much taller than him.
When Tao was over Brock, like that is an imposing sight.
Right. And Brock's supposed to win.
Yeah, he's Brock. He beat The Undertaker. He beat the Streak.
Right, you know what I mean? So
yeah, if you give that win to
Omos, why they didn't have him lose.
I get it now too, now that we're talking about it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, I guess you just got to put some shining light on Omos, get the fans to be more familiar with him. He's got to take a loss. It's early on.
Well, maybe he could turn around and beat Braun Strowman and get something back.
Well, I don't
get
even know if that would
going.
do much for Omos right now because Braun's in that tag with Ricochet, and now you're going to... I don't even know. They don't have a tag team name or nothing. They're just two guys, but they work well together.
I was going to say, right, the size difference is, the power and
I like it.
And the friggin' athleticism.
Yeah, they cover each other's like weaknesses.
They really do. They really, really do. All right, I followed up with the women's tag team match for the titles, right?
Yeah, I believe so. Which one was the match? It was last night.
Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler.
Yeah. Shotzi was in that match.
Yeah, who was the tag team champ? Shotzi and Natalya?
No, the tag champs.
Liv Morgan and
I don't think Liv was a champ. See, this is the thing. There's too many
championships.
championships.
Sonya Deville and Chelsea Green ain't champs.
Was it a championship match or was it a showcase?
Maybe it wasn't.
I think that
maybe
was a WrestleMania showcase.
Oh, okay.
The females WrestleMania showcase tag match.
Okay. Or maybe getting it shot at the belts, maybe.
That's more so, I believe, what it was.
Okay.
But there's so much wrestling, sorry.
That's right. But it was Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler as they defeated Shotzi and Natalya, Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez, and Sonya Deville and Chelsea Green. Chelsea Green makes more kind of botches than any.
She's not. I don't know what she did to get where she is at that so quick a WrestleMania spot, and there's people that didn't have that spot that maybe should have had it. Like
Nikki Cross is a better wrestler than Chelsea Green for sure.
Or Dewdrop's, even her
Piper Niven.
Piper, yes. So with Chelsea, she's got this little Karen gimmick going.
Right.
I think it's great, but I'm I think in her head she's a lot bigger than she actually is to everyone else.
I agree. I agree with that 100%.
Yeah, that's why I don't like her.
Right, exactly. Sonya Deville didn't look too bad in the match either.
No, she
good. Really didn't. I mean, I'm not going to sit there and say she's the greatest woman, but she's good.
Yes. No, she's a professional.
Yeah.
She does it. I'd never see Sonya, and she's able to play the other role too. She can talk on the mic when she needs to, and she's a great looking heel.
Right. And when I just brought up Braun Strowman a minute ago, if I'm not mistaken, Braun Strowman is going out with Raquel Rodriguez.
Good for him.
Yes.
Good for him.
Yep.
Wow.
All right. Next up, another bagger. Gunther.
Yeah, this was the banger.
Beats Drew McIntyre and Sheamus. And quite possibly the best match of the whole weekend.
I agree, yeah. If there was one.
Yeah, if you could only pick one. I think the popular choice would be Owens and Zayn and the Usos. Popular.
Yeah.
But for real, what real fans
Replay
would
value.
say, and would say, though, I'm being impartial.
Yeah.
You know, I love this and I love that. But this.
I have to give it up to it.
Dude, A+ all the way.
Think about it. Those guys make it a point to go harder physically than 99% of the roster does.
And the chops.
That's what I mean. You know, they don't take the shortcuts.
No, not at all.
They take the long way, and it shows. Right. And that's why I appreciate it.
Yeah.
You know, they care about the craft, and it's beautifully done. And I think Gunther is like a real future Hall of Fame champion.
No doubt.
Look at the shape he put himself in. When he was Walter in NXT, he was out here.
Yeah.
Now,
he's in great shape.
He's slim and trim and really lean and mean.
I saw him at a couple of Beyond shows before he got signed.
Oh, no kidding.
And he was so good.
See, he's been on the indie scene like that too, where it's just like he's
from
a grizzled vet.
Too,
exactly. Grizzled vet from overseas who the likes of a guy that we've not seen before.
Right. And at one point I thought Sheamus was gonna win when he went for the bro kick and he hit McIntyre.
Did you? I'm thinking long term, I'm like, they can't take it off Gunther yet.
I hear you, but it just looked like it was setting it up.
That's why that match was so great. Yeah. It had me thinking, double guessing myself. Exactly. I was like, oh, wow.
And Gunther was with the slaps, but man, oh man, Drew McIntyre lit him up at the beginning of the match. His chest was already, he must have got, Drew hit him and he hit Drew. And then Drew just went off. And just like for about 10 of them.
The ending was what got me when Gunther picked him up and just dropped Sheamus on Drew's back of Drew's neck and head. And I'm like, oh.
It was incredible.
It was just like only Gunther can pull that off right now. Now, if almost did that to Brock, I might have talked about that match a little differently.
Right.
But you got these big guys and you're throwing these big guys around. It's not the same as when you got smaller guys throwing smaller guys around.
Exactly.
It just looks different. It comes across different.
Yes. And like I said, great match. Followed up by another one. Bianca Belair beating Asuka to retain the SmackDown Women's Championship.
Bianca always does her thing. Asuka always does her thing.
I like the entrance too.
The Compton
with the
girls,
little, all the little girls dancing and stuff. That was cool.
There was a story about they even like announced it after the press conference. Triple H was in tears.
Wow.
Talking about how one of the girls. Now, this is what got me, was like, this is why I love wrestling. Triple H was at the press conference. He's talking about Bianca's Compton dancing girls. I forget the real name of them, forgive me.
Right.
But they were from Compton, these groups of dancers from little girls, right, from Compton, and they were dancing with Bianca Belair. And one of the girls, her mother had passed that same morning. Oh, wow. She's like 9 years old, but she's a dancer. And she's like, I'm not going to let this worst day of my life become a worser day of my life. And Triple H was saying how, we were able to give her a platform to come here on the worst day of her life.
Right. To forget about things for a couple minutes.
And to show us that that's what she loves to do so much, that she show up for a team on a day like that.
Yeah.
Just said so much. And he's like, that's why I love what we do. Right. He's like, because it helped this girl get through the toughest day of her life, and I hope for her tomorrow's a better day.
Nice. And the littlest girl, the one that came up and she did this flip, and her feet were by her head, and then she didn't use her hands to stand up.
I've never seen that like it.
She laid and she was like waving, and she
made
had
for
to
that
be
moment.
like 6 years old.
Yeah, she was made for that moment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But the way she got up, I couldn't believe it.
I've never seen nothing like that.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I was just like, this is why they're on the stage.
Yeah,
you know
exactly.
What I mean?
That was really cool. And at first, I thought it might have been like Bianca's kid because she grabbed her hand to lead them down, but then she let the hand go, and all the girls followed her down.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, that was amazing. Real quick, I want to go back to see, we're talking about entrances. I love Dominic Mysterio.
Same.
But he's never been in prison. He got locked up. It was in jail. But it's hilarious. I was laughing my head off. Because I'm like, this kid, and I love it when he says it too. Oh man, it's not like that in prison. It's like so funny.
It is.
You know?
Some of us know people like that.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It just makes it awesome because there's a little bit of reality in that, and it just makes me laugh. Where I'm like, Dominic's really owning this character right now.
Totally.
He's turning something brand new into something even better. That's something that's going to become legendary for him.
Right. And when Ray got inducted into the Hall of Fame, he ding it up and left. Classic. That was classic.
Classic. That was just such good storytelling.
Yeah.
And like Ray cares so much about that part of this business that he's not gonna let little things like happen. Like anything he can control, like I'm sure he's got a big say in it, and he's just making sure Dominic has the best future possible, setting him up for like the win, giving him the alley-oop, if you will.
And you never really saw a father-son. Well, you did in Memphis a little bit, Jamie Dundee and Bill Dundee, but not to the level, not this stage.
No, never.
You know?
And with the length of story that it has attached to from the Eddie Guerrero, Rey Mysterio custody and custody ladder match.
What's 18 years ago? 20 years ago?
05, was it? 04, 5, 6?
Yeah, so 17, 18 years.
Yeah. Unreal.
Yeah, because that would make Dominic like 23, right?
Just about
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Dominic Mysterio is unbelievable. He is so much better.
As a heel.
Than when he was with his dad at the beginning. And I get it, guys. He was new.
Yeah.
But to get as good as he's gotten now in that little bit of time, that's a special talent.
He went from, Dominic, I want to give him a chance.
You liked him because he's raised
I want to give him a chance, but...
Right.
And then he turns heel, and I'm like, wait, where's Dominic?
Yeah. And his mommy. And I love it whenever they're together, she always has his arm.
Perfect.
She always has his arm.
Perfect.
And the little interaction with his family in the match.
Yes.
Throwing the water in his sister's face.
Just little things.
And his mother slapping him. That was
These
perfect.
are the things that are going to be in the highlight packages to show the next thing. And that's why they're so good with telling stories now. And it's just improved.
Right. And I don't even want to see him reconnect with Ray.
Yeah.
Down the line. I don't. Not if he's going to continue to be this good.
No, right. Separate.
You know what I mean?
And become your own.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the Judgment Day is growing on me more, and I'm more invested in them because of Dominic and Rhea.
It's crazy how it changed.
Not because of the other two, and I like the other two.
Right. And in the beginning, I was focused more on Damian and Finn.
Yes.
Now it's like they're the afterthoughts.
Yeah.
It makes me a little worried for Damian, but I'm like, nah, he'll be good.
Right.
He'll be good.
So then, this was great. Shane McMahon comes out. Snoop Dogg sets it up for Miz to get beat up again.
This was great.
And the Miz is yelling at Snoop Dogg, "This is all your fault. Stop this." And Shane comes in and he hits him a few times, throws him in the ropes, does a leapfrog.
And then, like father, like son.
Yeah, and he hit the leg, and down he went. Then he tried to get up.
That was ugly.
And he just crashed.
Now, I hope Shane gets better soon.
Yes, me too.
It's really crazy how that happened. He made where's Shane coming from? All of a sudden, there's McMahon on the show.
Yeah.
He's getting a good reaction. And then
he always gets a good reaction.
Here comes the money.
He's cool. And his song's cool. And his entrance is cool.
The shuffle, come on. Shane O'Mac, man.
No, it's the truth.
Yes. And he always shows out.
Yes.
He'll always do something you're going to remember. Now, I wonder what that would have been last night.
Right.
Shout out to Snoop, which I didn't know until I watched the press conference. I know Snoop is a smart guy, but now he's hip to wrestling, and what he did last night, he called an audible.
Yeah, he did.
Live in front of 80,000 people.
Yep. Went and punched the Miz in the face.
Now, I'm sure, I think there might have been like that, they would have led to that part in the match.
Maybe, yes, maybe.
But they would have had, they cut out half of it.
Right.
Because of Shane's injury.
Yes.
Snoop had to be like, oh, now is my time to do what I do.
And then, before he punched him again, you could hear the ref. I heard it like on a clip. People's elbow.
Yeah, okay.
And he went, boom. And then he still wasn't sure. They said it again.
Okay.
And he's like, oh, he walks over, kicks the legs.
When he hit the ropes.
He's the worst. He's so bad at hitting the ropes. I would imagine it. That's how I would be.
That's what
hitting the ropes. That was hilarious.
I know I've hit the ropes and I've gotten some feedback from people on how to adjust hitting the ropes.
That was not like that.
My hitting the ropes was nothing like Snoop's hitting the ropes, though.
He turned his whole body and leaned against the ropes. And then he went to the other one.
Was going
did
half
the same
speed.
thing. But he hit a good people's elbow, and that second punch looked like it was stiff.
Oh yeah, he got
Seriously,
him.
he got him.
He got
too excited.
Yeah.
But the Miz is cool, man. Miz is gonna be like, good job,
he's
brother.
a professional. You know, he's.
You know, for when I first saw the Miz, I was disgusted. Like this kid's on a reality show.
Same.
He wants to be a wrestler. Give me a break, kid. You know.
Mm-hmm.
He worked his ass off. He changed in bathrooms, hallways, because they wouldn't let him in the locker room.
Right. Hazed in the beginning, right?
Yeah.
I get it.
Look at him now. He is one of the biggest stars in wrestling. It doesn't matter if you win or lose. That's the Sandman.
Actually,
he tells you the only thing you remember is his entrance.
Thank you. You know what I mean? Really. Maybe a couple kendo stick swings.
Yeah.
But with the Miz, you have one of the most natural heels.
Yes, absolutely.
With a gorgeous wife.
Yeah. And remember that say, tiny balls. Because of what he had said months ago.
Now, to me, I'm like, all right,
That's
you got
funny.
Maurice, so that can work. Like, she's staying by your side. They must not be that tiny. You know what I mean?
Yeah, dude. She is absolutely gorgeous.
She's so fine.
Oh, my God. Like,
Plus, she's French.
Right. What a lucky guy. What a lucky guy.
He earned it. He earned it. I give it to him because I can't be like a hater. I'm like, damn, bro. Like,
no, neither could I.
You earned that, bro.
Yes,
you
did.
earned that the hard way.
Yeah, and he's a good. My girlfriend loves his show.
Oh,
and I watch it here.
I'm entertained by it.
I'm not the one. She tapes it. She watches it. I got the headphones on, but I pay attention because I like the Miz.
Yeah.
Listen, we got 2 matches to go in 5 minutes. So.
Okay.
The next match was the Hell in the Cell.
Yeah.
When Edge beat Finn Balor. Is this his first loss as the Demon?
No.
No, it's not. Okay.
He lost, I remember, I forget to who, but I remember it was like he was the Demon. Maybe it was Bray. I don't remember. It might have been the Fiend or Bray. I could
see Randy Orton beating him too, though. I'm just out
when
of
he was the
guys,
Demon,
you know?
I do remember seeing him losing once, and I'd be like, damn, why'd they make him the Demon? And he lost.
To lose when he can just be Finn Balor and lose. Keep that Demon together.
Because now he's not intimidating. He's got like an 0-2 on a big stage in my eyes. I might be wrong, but.
Well, I think the next time they show clips of him and Edge, they'll definitely make it where it's even. Even though Edge won, Finn did this and this and
he was
this
in control a lot. Did you see the cut?
He's a good wrestler. Yeah. How'd that happen?
The ladder, I think.
The ladder?
The ladder. Yeah, that was a big gash. And the thing is, you couldn't even see the color because all the face paint.
Right.
You just see all this blood dripping on the mat.
Yeah. All right. That was a good match, man. I wouldn't say an A, but a B+.
Yeah,
I mean, it was good.
It was good.
It was really good.
It wasn't like a great Hell in a Cell.
Yeah, it didn't have you like the story. The story to it wasn't there as much as the other ones.
It was more of a forced, like, here's a Hell in a Cell match, and we're going to give you guys a cool entrances.
Yeah, and Edge, you're going to go over because they screwed you and all this.
Yeah, this was your group.
They concertoed your wife.
Yeah, but there was no like anger in that match that was shown by Edge or retaliation in the eyes of Finn Balor. But they did their job, and there was one little spot at the end where Finn jumped from high, and like Michael Cole was making a good call. It was like, Finn, what are you doing?
Michael Cole, man, he was really on fire last night.
He's growing on me. He's gotten a lot better over the past 7 years.
Cheering on the baby faces. He's supposed to be impartial, but I like that.
Yeah.
I do. I like that in a commentator.
Mm-hmm.
Corey Graves, I'm not too keen on. I really ain't.
I'll say what about Corey Graves. Like, you can tell if you know like wrestling, wrestling. Listen to Corey Graves and how he just continuously tries to channel Bobby the Brain Heenan. He's continuously trying.
I have to listen for that.
He's trying to channel Bobby the Brain, but it's just like he's still Corey Graves and he's not Bobby the Brain, so he's got to find that middle ground.
Yeah.
Once he does, I think he'll be all right.
I hated Michael Cole before, so obviously he could change it around.
Yeah, and Corey's another one with a nice little girl on the side.
Oh, yeah. All right, now the main event of the whole weekend, because obviously it was the main event of night 2.
Yeah.
Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes. The storyline of, I'm going to win that title for my daddy. And I told you, guys, I fell asleep. I'm old, man. I'm almost 60, guys. But it was an incredible match. And I woke up, what I saw of it, that I fell asleep. And I watched the rest of it this morning. But I looked to see who won before I watched it this morning. And I was shocked.
Yeah. Now you got to see how it happened.
Yeah. But makes sense. The more I'm reading smart people on Facebook, the wrestlers, mostly wrestlers, they say it right, because they are right. That the chase is still on. There's more to the story. You know? He's already hooked up with Sammy and Kevin.
I think Cody's going to start feuding with Solo. And well, that's why they keep bringing Solo out for the match. They had him do a little interaction. That's like a house show type match where they're gonna make the circuit. Solo and Cody.
He's a young Umaga, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
Because he's gonna get so much better.
Yeah, man.
But he's great already.
And he's in a perfect position.
Absolutely.
With Cody, I wasn't surprised that they kept it on Roman, because I was like, there's too much to lose if you take it off Roman right now. What's Roman without the belt when he's this guy?
But I thought he was leaving, though. That's why I thought he wanted to leave.
Makes sense.
You know what I mean?
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought he was supposed to be taking a break, but what a match. Cody is friggin' awesome, man.
I love them both.
Cody is a great baby face.
Yeah, he is. He's got the kids with the little belts. I'm like,
dude, did you see who he gave the belt to?
Was that -1?
Yep.
I thought so.
-1. Little Brody. Little Brody. Yep.
Man.
Now, that is just amazing.
It really
Cody
is.
must have made that happen.
Of course he did.
You know?
But the fact that they were even acknowledging it, there's levels to this game.
Brody was incredible, man, in the WWE.
His name, his legacy will live on forever.
Definitely. And that kid is already getting paid by a wrestling company.
And it's amazing.
And his wife is working for them, too.
Amanda, right?
Yeah, Amanda, yeah. Fantastic, Shawn.
Thank you, Leo.
Dude, we'll do this again, believe me. We'll get number 4 in there soon. Guys, we're out. Peace. Hi, guys. I hope you're enjoying the show. Listen, I could use a little help to grow my YouTube channel. So if you could please like, share, and subscribe. That's most importantly, subscribe. Send me a direct message, and I'll give you a shout out here on the show. My YouTube channel is real simple. It's just my name, Leo Connors. Thanks in advance. Peace.